Hi everyone, I hope you're doing well on this Mother's Day weekend. I wanted to come on here and do a special pick a card. I have really not done anything like exactly like this before. Although I did do one video, I want to say it was a couple of months ago, 2, 3 months ago at this point. It's hard for me to keep track of time, where I did a pick a card for you to connect to somebody who was a long lost person. The intention was for it to be someone who was deceased, but there was in one instance a long lost love that came through. That seemed to be, I think that was my most highly viewed video ever, and I did get a lot of feedback on that. So I've been wanting to do something like that again, and I haven't had the time. But Mother's Day, it was just really calling to me that this might be a good time to record a video actually geared towards, I've set the intention before hitting record that this pick a card is going to be for you, for messages from your mother. Certainly could be a situation where your mother is deceased and has crossed over. It could be a situation where your mother is still alive and you're estranged. It could be that, who knows if there's a medical ailment and maybe she's not in right mind. Some way that there's not communication happening. There's maybe things that are left unsaid. There's wounds from childhood you never got closure from. And something, for some reason, if you're being triggered around Mother's Day, there might be messages that you need to hear, and it could just be that you're missing your mother, and maybe there's not any kind of a shadow aspect here. Obviously, when we go through the cards, you'll see that I've kind of to set it up that way. But you could just be watching it. You may want to watch all three of them and just see if there's any kind of message that comes through for you in that regard. Before we get started, you might see I have another chair here. I forgot to move it, but I'm at my kitchen table, and my cats, they're my babies. They're, I'm a cat mommy, but they like to sit beside me when this is my kind of my creative center, where I work on oracle decks and things like that. So they like to sit by me when I'm working, and so I left that chair here. So one of them might make an appearance. We shall see. I will timestamp this below, and I'm just trying to think if there's anything else here. I guess we'll go ahead and get started. I will walk through the decks that I've used today and kind of the intention that's being set for each one before we get started. So the first one is the Triggers and Shadows Oracle deck by me that is available for purchase, and you can check that out at the link down below. So the Triggers and Shadows, I can't talk today, Oracle deck, and the I think this is just the Mermaid Tarot. These are intended to kind of give some insight for me into maybe what the relationship with your mother has been like, was like when you were a child, maybe some of the darker aspects of it, things that maybe weren't so positive. And I know it seems weird using the Mermaid Tarot, but this deck is actually a fairly dark, kind of some of the images are kind of dark, which you wouldn't expect. So to look at perhaps some of the signs that maybe need to come through for you today to know that, this is indeed your mother. And again, it could be a stepmother, it could be a mother-like figure. It doesn't have to be your birth mother, but whoever is resonating for you with this message, take it. But whatever signs they might be sending you in the 3D world, in your dreams, or just today, if this comes through, I ask for specific signs to kind of help somebody, confirm that this is indeed the mother, that, this message was meant for you. So for those, we have Signs from Spirit Love Oracle by Mystic Moon, and we have the Charm Cards Oracle by Mystic Moon as well. Then I've also asked for what messages that, messages of closure, messages, what do they want to say to you? What was maybe been left unspoken, words of comfort, anything like that your mother would like to say to you. We have the Messages of Closure by All Things Intuitive, and this is actually geared towards people who have crossed. So it's not like a love situation. It could be, but this is more geared towards somebody who has passed away and things were left unsaid. We also have the I think it's called Talking to Heaven cards, but these are where the messages are going to come through of what they want to tell you today. And again, I don't know if anyone, I don't market myself to be a medium like Long Island medium or anyone like that. So I don't know that anything very specific, names or things like that are going to come through, but I do hope and trust that specific enough messages come through for you that you do get some comfort today. And to wrap it up, we're going to do a healing message from Mother Mary. And what better way to kind of give you, especially if your mother has passed. Mother Mary is the ultimate, divine mother, that unconditional love, that warmth that you may need to kind of help you process and integrate the things that come out today or that are coming up for you otherwise this weekend. So that's what we're going to do. We're going to get started. You guys hopefully you've already made your choice, but here's my hodgepodge little, you guys know I don't have the most high-tech setup compared to the other readers here, but I just do what I can. This rose quartz is what I wanted to use today because it's just a healing, gentle energy for the heart and reminds me of mother-daughter energy, mother-son energy. But number 1 is the key. Number 2 is the Organite pyramid, and number 3 is the flame. Okay, so of course I'm gonna see if I can get that set up now. All right, so we're gonna timestamp here. Okay, so number 1, you chose the rose quartz key. It's just beautiful, and it's got a heart on it as well. It's a good heart healer. I don't know if I said that. I said it's just gentle, but all right, and I did pre-shuffle, but I have not seen these, so it might take me a minute or so to just kind of process what's coming through, so just bear with me. Okay, number 1. I'm not exactly feeling like this mother is passed away, that she's passed away, but there's definitely, and she certainly, I wouldn't click off if your mother has passed away. There could be messages that come through, but that's not the strong indication I'm getting. I'm getting more that this woman is maybe a lot older, and there's just not a lot of affection. There's never been a lot of affection from her. The triggers and shadows and the tarot clearly indicate that. We have rigid, strict, stubborn, prudish. It's just like there's a wall up there. You're not getting through. There's a barrier. And the 5 of Wands is a card all about conflict and competition. And so I don't know if you had siblings, if there was always kind of a competitive energy for her affection, but I feel like the affection, her emotions were always veiled, hidden. She was cold. Just there's, I'm getting really zero emotion here. It's interesting because the sign from Spirit, it's like there's really not a lot of signs that are coming through as far as happy memories. Sometimes when I look for these charm cards and things like that, I look for something that's like a happy memory that maybe that she would want to share with you. And I'm getting, this veil is what comes out. It's veil, hidden, and you can see this woman is just like, it's almost like her skin is decaying. And so I'm getting that, like, she never, like, it's like she'll go to her grave before she will admit or, like, be affectionate. and it's like all this inside is like, and I'm getting like that I mean, clearly something happened in her childhood that completely like closed her off, emotionally, and some sort of trauma that she never healed. But she's always been veiled, with her, just, yeah, I just feel like definitely some withholding energy, there, and that, the only thing I'm getting that perhaps, is something that as a family you guys would do is maybe that you would go, hiking or camping. There's something with that, but it's like, I feel like every time and the reason I said that is, with the charm cards, we have a compass off course. So, I feel like every time I feel like you made a lot of effort. You made a lot of effort to try to get through to her, to try to, um, get things back on track, to just, get that affection and just, earn your mother's love, right? That's maybe where, if you didn't have siblings, it could just be that conflict and competition where it's just like you're constantly going in, with these wands, trying to charge ahead to get through these walls with her, and, that just really didn't, I feel like it's never happened. And I feel like, I mean, I hate to say this, but I feel like if your mother is still alive, again, I'm getting that she's going to her grave like this. Like, there's just a wall up, that it's nothing that you did. It's nothing that you can, it's her, not you. And so I feel like maybe there were these wounds, like you wondered always, like, was I not good enough? Was I not lovable? That's not the case at all. Not the case at all. It was her issue. She just wasn't, she didn't have that love of herself. She didn't get the love and nurturing. And it's like she passed that down, to, in her own situation. Unfortunately, as a mother, she wasn't able to give that love that a mother should. So the message, that she does, she does want the best for you. She's just not capable, and she knows the issue lies with her, but I feel like she's very stubborn, and I just feel like too, if you're wanting an apology, I don't know that that's going to happen. And it's something that you have to work on letting go, and knowing that you've done everything you could to try to, direct this on, to get this relationship on course and to have a healthy relationship with your mother. So I think the best thing you can do is pour that love into yourself, and start to heal, if you haven't already. Start to heal from that childhood, that wound. Because if your mother, if you feel like you don't have that love from your mother, how can you, it makes it very hard to love, to find that love of yourself, when you don't have that love of a mother. It's interesting because, she says, I wish you love and happiness. That's the message of closure. I wish you love and happiness. Again, to me, that's kind of a detached statement. It's a very sincere statement, but it's not like, I loved you, or I'm sorry. It's like, I wish you the best. She wants the best for you, but she's just not capable of doing that. And, but she does want you to be happy. And I don't know if she's told you that. If she's not told you that, hopefully that provides you some comfort. The other message that's coming through, it says, although you may not understand it now, everything happens for a reason. And what's interesting is there's a puzzle piece. There's a puzzle piece that's to, like, connecting the dots, and you chose the key, right? A key is very much like you're going to unlock, something and get some sort of an answer, just like putting the puzzle pieces together. So, I think it's like the part you don't understand is, like, maybe deep down you always thought, my mother eventually is going to take this veil off. She's gonna, at some point, like, even on her deathbed, or when she's older, when she knows she's at the end of her life, she's going to tell me she loves me. She's going to say she's sorry. She's going to do these things. And, and you just don't understand, because it's like, why would that happen? Why would a mother never say those things? And, obviously this is intended to be a general reading. I don't know, the specific situation, to whoever, I'm speaking with here, but in general, when this type of stuff happens, it's like, you very well, you know, it's your mission here now to break that ancestral pattern, to find, to go through an awakening, a spiritual awakening, and a journey back to self-love. And one of the when you awaken and you go on this journey of healing, it's about finding that love within yourself. It's about facing those inner child wounds, those shadows, those triggers. And I mean, one of the deepest ones you can have is you have a parent who is absent or emotionally unavailable, and doesn't love you, like nurture you. And typically, I mean, not to generalize or to stereotype, but generally that's typically a father, that's always, not emotional, working all the time away, maybe out doing whatever. I mean, that's typically been the paradigm, right? But so it's very, very different for a lot of people, to see that, sometimes a mother is completely emotionally detached, and it's so atypical of what a mother should be, right? A mother should be loving, nurturing, cooking for you and doing all these things, and if you didn't have that, there's like an even deeper layer of stuff that needs to come out. But how amazing if you can recognize that and you can break those patterns in your own life. And, I feel like if you are a parent, you've done that and you've went above and beyond and done that. And that's made it even harder, I think, for you at times to try to comprehend how your mother couldn't be, could see, you as a child and have that divine, unconditional love that a baby brings and the child brings, and to not embrace it. I think that's made you even kind of really feel deeper about, wow, like, what was it? Was I, not a good child? What was wrong with me? And so those are all things that I would highly suggest, that you start to work through if you haven't. I do that type of work as far as working through shadows, wounding, all those types of things that we can work through and get to the heart of, how it's affecting your life and the patterns and the ways that you're living right now, if that's something you're interested in. So I want to leave you with a positive message, though. So we've got Our Lady of Ripening on the Vine. So this is number 4, and this is one that I always read from the book. I don't know that I'll read the entire thing, but I'm just going to kind of see what catches my eye here. Okay. So it says, I ask you to surrender your future thinking to me. Although your future contains the promise of great blessings, do not let this distract you from the blessing I bestow upon you in this moment. I ask you to open your arms to my blessings in the here and now. You are the sweet fruit heavy on the vine. The time for harvest has come. This is your time. So this is talking about being practical, hardworking, attending to the details of daily life, and having hope in your heart. The hope may be for the future, our future, that of our children, of our planet. This hope is a precious light that's needed in the world. Yet our light of hope is also needed in the here and now. We need to be living in the divine now, not only dreaming of more divinely aligned life in a fantasy of our future. And so, there's talking about we're always growing. There's a readiness within you. Something inside you is ready. I feel like maybe you're ready to really kind of face this and let go of the past and focus on, growing there's just so much that I feel like you have the potential to manifest and bring into your life, but there's this baggage that's holding you back from, understandably, this attachment to wanting to try to, fight this conflict, and it's kind of like keeping you stuck from moving forward, right? You're not living in the now. You're not focusing on the future and the hope for the future. And it talks about, the children making the future brighter, the fact that you're breaking these patterns, the fact that you are changing it and facing these wounds and getting that out of you so that you can be the brightest light that you can be. So I think that's what this is about. The mother asks you to honor the light that's ignited within you now and act upon it with an utter faith. You're more ready than you think you are. So It's also confirmation, if you needed to hear it, that a particular message, a dream, a project, or idea you've been nursing will succeed. This time for success is fast approaching, and what happened is naturally as fruit ripening on the vine. I'm getting that like Seven of Pentacles energy here, where seeds have been planted, and it's like it can't come to fruition because you've got, the soil. You're not watering the soil enough, if that makes sense. With the sunlight, right? And the crops need sunlight to flourish and bloom. If you're holding back onto these things from the past. So I hope that was helpful for you, Group 1. I know these are very heavy messages to hear, but if there's any way I can support you in your journey, I would love to chat with you and schedule a session. You can check out that information down below. All right, so we're going to go to Group 2. All right. And of course, I'm totally blanking right now on which one was, I moved my stuff out of order. So, okay, Group 2 was, I had looked at my picture. Sorry, guys. I'm usually not this spacey, but I'm working like insane hours at work. And so this is the Orgonite Pyramid. So we're going to take a look at that. There were 2 tarot cards that wanted to come out. Move. I'm getting that your mother, I feel like she may have been a single mother or a young mother. And this again, this is kind of a specific message, so it may not resonate for all of you, but she may have been doing things to help her survive and raise you. And if you had siblings, your siblings, she could have been doing stripping, entertaining men, things that would maybe look down upon. I feel like perhaps you were outcast and you were bullied and rejected in school because of the things that maybe not the best choices that your mother was making. And the reason I'm saying that, we've got the outcast card, bullied, persecuted, rejected. And we have the Fool, which is it's like this woman who's like fresh out of the water. She's young. She's just starting out her journey. We also have this High Heel Seduction card. And I'm kind of getting like maybe she passed away young. I don't know if she had addictions, but there's definitely a young energy here. And obviously, I mean, you felt outcast. You may have been raised by grandparents. I feel like there was definitely kind of this like outcast, rejected energy from your mother, because she was out acting foolish and doing all these things, partying, living it up, and maybe viewed you as a burden. Maybe she even told you that at some point, or you just felt it. Um, and I'm getting that, you would always hold on to this hope that, she was going to come back or come in, I feel like she left you a lot. I mean, either if you weren't totally raised by grandparents or another family member, you were constantly like bounced around different places. Um, Sorry, there's a lot of messages coming through on this one. But there was always that hope, and I feel like because your mother, wasn't around, you definitely, I feel like, lived in a fantasy world as a child, more than, I mean, a lot of children do, obviously, but more than others. I mean, there's, we have fairies here and the rainbow and like holding on. That's like just holding on to that hope, like that innocence, like, you know, that your mom is going to kind of come in and there's going to be like this, that she's going to come back and she's going to, I feel like you just thought, oh, your mom was so pretty and she was so cool. But there was this hope that like she would want to basically be a mother to you. And I just feel like that never really transpired. And again, I feel like I feel like she did pass away and she passed away young. I'm feeling like there's not a long bond, a long period of time like we had with number one, where this woman grew old. Like she either just took off and you've never, heard from her again, or she passed away young. There wasn't a lot of time for her to, I'm getting like, elementary school age, for you to develop, and again, because she wasn't around. But you were always hoping for that, that concrete communication, that like, that day where like she would just show up and I'm getting the name like Timmy or Tammy, but that she would just hug you and say, hey, I want to go, take you out, for ice cream, or I want to do whatever. Like there were times maybe she did say she was going to do things and then she would not follow through. One of the things that I feel like, perhaps you may see as signs in some way are spiders. I don't know if it's something that you've embraced them, maybe where other people are afraid, if you take them as like a positive omen or sign. But spiders are an extremely powerful totem. They're about, and I have this picture, so don't look if you don't want to see it. But I've been seeing them all week. I've had 3 like around, not this big, thank God, but they're very, very powerful. They're about creativity, weaving your destiny, right? And I feel like that's something that you have taken very wonderful strides to create a new life for yourself, to completely, right, change your course and to almost, I feel like to a fault sometimes, where you don't want to be that irresponsible, so you're almost like throwing yourself into your work all the time, or working on a lot of new ventures, and it's almost to the detriment, I feel like, of you feeling what's really happened. I don't know that you've ever sat down and felt it. And I feel like, with the pyramid here, it's like this spiral, like maybe there's things that keep coming back around and you just bury them and you don't face it. But the pyramid is kind of energy that's like fire energy. And it's like there needs to be something that just, you get that out, right? You work, I would suggest working with malachite, especially a malachite pyramid and some Apache tears. I think that would help you kind of dig some of these deeper things out. I feel like there's kind of this disappointment. Like I feel like maybe because you kind of were always sitting around hoping, waiting, and maybe she did flake out, that you have issues now with trusting people, relying on people, that you just, you don't believe that somebody's actually going to follow through. And so there could be issues in dynamics with that. So the messages that she has, I should have said what I didn't say. So I feel like, she had regrets, or what she wants to tell you is she knows that you were waiting for her to just say, I love you, to say that, you know, you're just, all the things that mothers, say to children, that you make me so happy. I just love you so much. You're just the best little boy. I'm definitely getting a boy energy here. It doesn't have to be, but just something to that effect, that there would just be words of affection, of love. And she said she is, again, unlike number one, there is definite remorse here. I should have said what I didn't say, because she realizes how much that affects you now. The other message is don't be afraid. I don't know what I'm getting here. Obviously, take it how it resonates for you. If you've been afraid to take a leap and to do something, a creative project or something, this is like, go for it, right? That's the sign you needed. But kind of what I was getting is more along the lines of you and your children or future children, that you're afraid because you're kind of like, there's certain patterns repeating in your life. Maybe you're afraid to get close to people, that you're afraid that you're going to do the same things in a different manner, right? That you're going to be responsible, but you're just going to focus on providing for your child, and giving them a stable foundation, but you're not going to be able to love them because you've got your own walls up from what your mother did to you. So it's like, don't be afraid. Now's the time though, if you haven't faced these things, to take control of that, your destiny, and to start working on healing and getting that out, and facing those issues. Another thing could be, a specific message I was getting is that if you have a teenage girl or like a preteen girl and she's kind of wild, she may kind of remind you of what you remember of your mother. Don't be afraid. A lot of the stuff that happens, again, I'm not a mother, this is just what's coming through, with teenage girls, is kind of typical behavior, but you're not going through, went through it before, so you're kind of like, oh my God, is my child, kind of acting out? Is she acting like her grandmother and going to be, doing all these kind of, salacious things, and she's just wild and boy crazy and all these things. It's like, what I'm getting is, don't be afraid, like, that's just some normal behavior, and that you certainly, these things can be worked through. But I think a lot of it is, if your daughter is doing that, she's wanting your attention. And if you're focused like so much on providing a foundation for you, and you're worried about working all the time, and worried about having a certain kind of house, a certain kind of income, and in doing so also you're like burying your emotions, and you're not facing, this disappointment and this childhood, she's crying out for attention because she's not feeling that affection that she needs to feel from you. And you need to open, get your life more balanced in an emotional manner, so that you can then pass that along, I guess, as a parent, if that makes any sense. All right, so Our Lady of New Vision is your Mother Mary message, so we're going to look at that, number 16. I place my sacred eye opened in your heart so that you may see. Let go of small dreams and become receptive to fresh vision. My eye in your heart sees great beauty. Can you see the new vision emerging? Now is the time to dare to dream, and to pray boldly and with conviction that the most beautiful vision you can receive will come to life in service to all. Now, what I was saying earlier, right? Now is the time to dare to dream. The new vision emerging, okay? That has to do with the weaving, the creative, and don't be afraid, okay? Dare. You got to take that leap if there's something you're wanting to do there. This is a time where new vision is required. So let's see. This is like where you're not dreaming. You're playing it small. And I'm getting that, you're playing it small because there's still this part that this little guy or girl exists within you and has never been healed. That disappointment, that every time, that of feeling of being let down, you're afraid to take these leaps and weave your own destiny, and perhaps maybe you've closed yourself off, if you're a single parent, if something like that, or if you're just a single period, you've closed yourself off from healthy relationships, from serious relationships, because you're afraid to open yourself up, or you're afraid of failure, you're afraid of being let down if you put yourself out there and speak your truth for a business venture or something that you're wanting to work on. This is saying, like, this is not the time to dream small. This is the time to go for it, right? But again, just like number one, and just like pretty much any situation in life where you have something that you need to heal, if you don't do that, if you don't face it, the patterns are going to keep repeating, and that baggage is going to hold you back, right? Because you needed to honor this. And one of the things I would suggest is, find a picture of yourself at this age, when your mother passed, or if it was just if your mother's still alive, a pain, like a memory of you as a child, if there was something that your mother let you down, any kind of at the age range where you remember being really wounded. Find that picture, or envision it in your mind, and write that child a letter. Write that child a letter about all the things they need to know about how wonderful they are and how it's not their fault, about how worthy they are. Get it all out, right? And then burn it. That's a very powerful healing mechanism. But again, if you would like to talk about your specific situation, all that information is down below if you'd like to schedule a session. So I hope that was helpful for you. Okay, we're going to move on to pile 3 now. Okay, pile 3 is the flame, the rose quartz flame. Just so beautiful. I actually got this. I don't know if you follow me on other social media, I went crystal digging in Hot Springs, Arkansas, and at their crystal shop they had this, and I was like, oh, I actually did pretty good at that crystal shop. That was the only one I bought. Which, if you guys know me, that's good. All right. Wow. I feel like your mother has. I feel like for number 3, this mother has definitely passed. I feel like it was sudden, it was unexpected, and it absolutely shattered you, broken, destroyed, devastated. Okay. This also, again, the intention with this card, was more towards like the childhood, but I feel like too that perhaps you came from a broken home. Perhaps there was something, a divorce or something like that. But your mother was like your ultimate support. I'm getting that she was very loving. She was very loving. She provided. I feel like the father in this situation was maybe not present, or not, as involved, or not emotionally there. We've got the Ace of Pentacles here, and the reason I said wow, I was just like, this is crazy. So Ace of Pentacles represent finances, career, anything solid, tangible in the material world, right? This is a treasure chest right here. But what's interesting is in some tarot decks, these are pentacles in this one, but they're coins, and the sign from Spirit that came out was coins. So this might be a special message for you. Perhaps your mother collected coins, or that was something that you guys did together, that you were really interested in different types of coins. Maybe you liked to go look at them. It's also what's interesting is a support, and I was getting that the support system. The Ace of Pentacles here, it's like this treasure chest, like she provided everything for you. In a very loving manner. And I feel like she, I don't know, I'm getting May. I don't know if May is her name, or if May is the time when she passed. which if she just passed recently, that we're in May right now, or if Memorial Day is like a special day for you, because we did get the flag, Pride. So I don't know if she just loved like the patriotic holidays, if she was really into Americana, type of decor, or she just had a lot of pride in her country. So that's something that could be a specific message for someone. But again, yeah, I'm just getting that she absolutely was your form of every kind of support. And so losing her has been absolutely devastating. So I'm very sorry, if this message is resonating for you, but I hope it does give you some comfort if there are specific things that are coming through. She also, there were 2 charm cards in addition to the flag, the pride one that wanted to come out. We've also got a spoon, hunger, but this almost looks like, to me, it looks like hot cocoa. I don't know if she liked to make you hot cocoa, or she did, and maybe she did food shaped like things in the shape of a heart, or she just loved like pink, but I feel like was a really good cook, and she loved her tea. I'm getting like I don't know if Earl Grey, I don't know, that might be a specific message for somebody, but she absolutely was your world, and you were her world. So again, even though you and your mother didn't necessarily have a strained relationship, obviously there's that devastation of losing her. And I'm getting, like I said, the fact that the father either wasn't around, or there were issues there with that. So what she wants you to know is you can break generational patterns. So just it's that confidence of knowing that maybe you're afraid to get married, maybe you're afraid to let, if you're a female, maybe you're afraid to let a man into your life, maybe you're afraid to rely on others because of those father issues. Maybe you're kind of having this belief like, that there's no good men left out there. Maybe you're going through something already where you are, maybe you are thinking about getting a divorce, something like that. It's like, you don't have to be repeating the same mistakes. So I don't know if that resonates, but I feel like, sorry, there's a lot of stuff coming through. There's something about a teddy bear. Maybe the teddy bear had I don't know, I feel like it's like a light brown teddy bear. I don't know if it's something you had from childhood, like she gave you in childhood and you still have it. And you still keep it like on a shelf, like, or preserved like in a case. I'm getting like the smell of cinnamon. There was a perfume. I don't know if it was called Cinnabar. There was a perfume that had like I don't know if it was an Estee Lauder. It had like a certain smell to it. Of course, it had a smell of perfume. Sorry. Sometimes when I talk, it's just, the stuff just comes out, so it might be jumbled and may not make sense, so I apologize if my thoughts are not coherent, or the words coming out of my mouth are not coherent. Something about ginger. But I'm getting that, like, I feel like you, or she, when she would be, or when you would go over, or she would be, there was always, like, cinnamon candles burning. There was always kind of that kind of smell, like cinnamon bread or cinnamon rolls. Maybe it was one of her favorite things to make. But I feel like there are times that you question yourself because you're like smelling her scent, or smelling a scent that's like similar. Like if she burned those candles, you don't have those candles around, but you smell that, right? And you're like, what the heck? It's not your imagination. It is her. She is saying, I'm just a thought away. I am just a thought away. And this could be for a specific subset of you that maybe you had a child a childhood when you were a child, you had a dog. I don't know if you can see that had passed and you were in. This is confirmation that she's with the dog. Again, I know this is a generic name, but Spot is what's coming through. So if that resonates for you, I hope that provides you some comfort. But she's confirming, I'm just a thought away. Like the times that you feel like, a lot of times, at least for me, right? Some people actually hear voices, they actually see, I don't want, don't expect to like just, see a vision of your mother. I mean, you very well might in a dream or something like that. But a lot of times, how spirit communicates with us is a thought in our head. Like, and so it's kind of hard to distinguish, is that just me thinking a thought? Like when I was just saying a teddy bear, right? But the fact that I'm doing this reading, or if I'm sitting down consciously trying to say, that I want to, it's something that kind of nags at you. And it's something that's going to come out of nowhere, right? Be it the smell, be it the thought, if you're in a teddy bear store, of course, you see teddy bears, that's because you're in a teddy bear store. But if you're in the middle of, a beach vacation and you have a vision of a teddy bear, and then you're reminded of her, do not discount that, right? Anything where you feel like that's my mother, or someone communicating with you, don't discount that. So I just want to stress that, because I feel like you're very much feeling her energy. You're very much feeling her around you, and perhaps you're discounting it. And so please, know that she is there. I'm trying to see if there's anything else. There may be a pocket watch. Maybe it was a grandfather, and maybe she passed that down to you. Anything else here? Pearls. I'm also getting there could be a pearl necklace. Maybe you recently found it and you didn't know she had a pearl necklace. I'm also getting that she may have really loved turtles. Almost there might have been just an inside joke about turtles. I don't know what that was. Again, I hope if that resonates for you, I hope it brought you some comfort, if it makes sense. So I'm going to move on now to the Mother Mary, Our Lady of Peaceful Change, number 12. We're going to see what she has for you. Change is coming to you now, my dear child. It is a change that has been triggered by the loving prayers held deep within your heart. This change does not have to be difficult for you. Trust in me, and I shall ensure that you're supported through this change, that you are held safely and securely in my heart as you transition from one way to another. I would like you to use your energy for more worthy purposes than unnecessary worry. Trust me a little more, and know that the changes you're encountering now, or soon will, are actually the blessing of my answer to your prayers. Not all change has to be difficult. Change can evoke thoughts of upheaval, uncertainty, instability, and even fear. We all have different capacity to accept change with equanimity, depending on the circumstances and situation. Sometimes it might seem very frightening indeed. At other times, it might not be so frightening. It could be exciting, even whilst there are moments of confusion or uncertainty. Mother Mary understands that it can be very challenging, and the sheer magnitude of the change requires a lot of emotional energy for us to be able to take the leap. But the Divine Mother is here to help you take that leap. And this just keeps talking about unnecessary worry and fears. And maybe it's, how are you gonna survive without your mother? She was kind of your rock, right? It's just, this is talking about trusting a little more, trusting the divine, trusting God, trusting that you're not alone. Trusting that you're not alone, that your mother is just a thought away, and it's not the same, right? But she has instilled within you so much love, so much light, all of, in her example, of this, I don't know, again, if there's the fear there of repeating, patterns or something like that, or just not being as strong as she was, or as, I don't know, much of an example. But just, I feel like you need that confirmation that you are doing all these things right. If you are a parent, that you're going to do it, that you're doing enough. I feel like you very much idolized her and just thought, how could I ever be all these things, because she had all these roles, right? So I just feel like she's definitely wanting to convey. Sorry, I'm getting like, this is like the first time this has happened where I've been on video, but this is kind of what happens. I start getting these thoughts, like Jake or Jay, or maybe it's Blue Jays. If you see Blue Jays, or you're a Blue Jays fan, um, something about Blue Jays. But there's something about speaking your truth, um, believing in yourself and believing that you are worthy of all these things, and that are coming in and they're there for you, and that she is still there for you. And so I think the big message for you is, um, to understand that the grieving process is never, it's going to take time. Each day will get better, but you're always going to, have to honor that grief, honor that loss, but also know that she's not in physical body, but she is just a thought away, and she is all the time around you, giving you those signs. And so don't doubt that. Don't question yourself, and know that Mother Mary is also, you can call upon Mother Mary, and just ask her, I feel lost, Mother Mary, please put your arms around me, please console me. Call upon Archangel Michael, Archangel Raphael, whatever divine entity, God, that you identify with. Just don't forget that in even your darkest days, your lightest days, that God is, they're always around. They're always there to call upon and to bring you comfort. So I hope that was helpful for you. If you would like to schedule a session to get your own personal reading, or some further messages on anything that perhaps resonated for you today, that information is down below. Take care, everyone.